All right, guys. So, as you might know, Texas got beat by Ohio State. They got beaten, pretty bad. It was 14-7. I'm glad they at least got, some at the end. But obviously Arch Manning did not play well. He played, pretty bad today. A lot of people pretty disappointed. I thought he was going to play a lot better, to be honest. He played pretty bad, but I mean, it is the first game of the season, so the first game of the season is usually rough, so that doesn't mean he's going to be a bad quarterback. He can still be good, and he definitely had a rough first game. He did not play well. He played, pretty bad today, but, we still got the whole season. It's the first game of the season, so it ain't, it's not, it's not the end of the world. It's not over yet. I still have high hopes for Arch Manning, and I still believe that he's going to be a really good quarterback, and he's going to play really well. It's just the first game of the season. It's rough first game. For any quarterback, it could be like that. People thought he was going to automatically, play good. He was going to automatically play really well just because his father and uncle were some of the best quarterbacks to ever live. But it's rough. People are already like, people are already giving up on him, being like, oh, he's trash. He's trash. But no, he's not. It's the first game of the season. So everyone who's hating on Arch Manning, saying, oh, he's trash, he's going to be horrible, he's going to be a horrible quarterback, fuck off, back off, lay off him. It's the first game of the season. What do you expect? There's been a lot of quarterbacks that have had really rough first games and then wind up playing really good. It's the first game, that he's ever played. People, we're expecting him to automatically, start playing well, but no, sometimes you got to play, a few rough games first before you start playing really good. So that just might be situation. So I do have high hopes that he's going to be really good. And I know after this year he was supposed to go into the draft, and so if we see improvement, if he plays good on the next games, then if he plays well in the next games, then I do think that's still a possibility. But on the other hand, if he still continues to play bad, then I do think it's probably best that he stays another year in the, on Texas. But I do have high hopes for him. Just because he played really bad in the first game doesn't mean he's going to be really bad. I think he's still gonna be good. It's just gotta give him some time. Really rough first game. First game's gonna be rough, but I do definitely think he's gonna be a lot better on the next game. So I do definitely believe that Arch Manning is gonna be really good, and he's gonna be really good on Texas.